You see, every trader dreams of turning a small stake into a fortune. $1,000 into 50,000, it sounds almost poetic. But what most don't understand is that the market doesn't reward dreams. It rewards discipline. It rewards patience. It rewards the man or woman who can control their own impulses while everyone else is losing their minds. I've seen fortunes made from scraps, and I've seen men lose millions they didn't deserve to keep. And if there's one truth I've learned over decades of trading, it's this: the market has no mercy for wishful thinkers. You either learn to plan and manage risk like a surgeon, or you'll bleed out slowly from 1,000 small losses. Now let's talk about that $1,000. A small capital, yes, but not useless. $1,000 is your apprenticeship fee. It's your ticket to learn how to think, how to wait, how to strike when the odds are truly in your favor. Most traders blow their small capital because they're in a hurry to make it big. They trade like gamblers, not professionals. They chase setups that look exciting instead of waiting for those that are inevitable. The first rule: never treat the market like a slot machine. Treat it like a battlefield. You don't charge into gunfire with your entire army. You send scouts first. That's what small positions are for. You're testing the market's mood, its temperature. If it confirms your thesis, you scale in gradually. If it turns against you, you retreat quickly, decisively, without emotion. That's how you survive. Every dollar you risk must have a purpose. $1,000 becomes 50,000 not by taking wild bets, but by compounding small, consistent gains and protecting capital from large losses. The difference between the successful trader and the losing one isn't intelligence. It's restraint. The losing trader cannot resist the temptation to trade every day, to force profits, to revenge trade after losses. The successful trader trades only when the odds whisper in his favor, when everything aligns: price, volume, timing, and trend. I remember once, early in my career, I turned a few hundred into several thousand in a matter of weeks. I thought I had found the secret. I thought I was invincible. Then I gave it all back. Not because the market changed, but because I did. I became overconfident. I violated my own rules. I thought I could bend the market to my will. And the market, being the great humbler, showed me how wrong I was. That's the trap. Early success breeds carelessness. You begin to think you can risk more because you're trading with house money, but there is no house money. Every dollar you earn belongs to the market until you withdraw it. That mindset keeps you humble. It keeps you defensive. The market only pays those who respect it. So let's talk about the plan, the backbone of your trading career. You can't grow $1,000 without a precise blueprint. A good plan defines three things: your risk per trade, your reward target, and your method of execution. Risk per trade should never exceed 1 to 2% of your capital. That means on $1,000, your maximum loss on any single trade should be no more than $10 to $20. You may laugh and think, that's too small to matter. But that's how you learn discipline. If you can't protect small sums, you'll never manage large ones. Protecting the downside is how you earn the right to enjoy the upside. The market rewards math, not emotion. If you risk 1% to make 3%, you can be wrong more times than right and still grow your capital. Think about that. Most traders focus on being right. Professionals focus on making money. There's a world of difference between the two. Now, once your plan defines your risk, your next concern is position sizing. This is the art of survival. Your position size must always be small enough to keep you calm, but large enough to make the trade meaningful. If you can't sleep at night because of a trade, it's too big. The market punishes anxiety because anxiety leads to irrational decisions, premature exits, emotional entries, over-trading. You want to be as emotionally neutral as a machine. Next, the method. You must specialize. Don't try to trade everything Forex, crypto, stocks, options all at once. That's like trying to learn 10 languages at the same time. You'll never master any. Pick one instrument, one time frame, one pattern, and study it until it becomes second nature. The best traders are specialists, not generalists. They know the behavior of their market as intimately as a hunter knows the tracks of his prey. For me, the turning point came when I learned to read price and volume, the language of the market. I discovered that price action tells you everything you need to know about human psychology. When prices rise rapidly and traders cheer, I look for exhaustion. When panic grips the crowd and prices collapse, I look for opportunity. You see, human emotion never changes. Fear and greed are as old as the markets themselves. And if you learn to interpret those emotions on the chart, you gain an edge that no indicator can offer. Now, about scaling the secret weapon of capital growth. You don't grow a small account by making one big trade. You grow it by compounding wisely. When a trade moves in your favor, don't close it too early. Add strategically. Let the market pay you to increase your position. That's how you ride trends. The amateurs take profits too soon because they crave certainty. The professionals hold on because they understand that true profits come from the rare, extended moves. If you catch just a few of those each year, your account can grow exponentially. However, there's a condition: you can only scale when your trade is already in profit and your risk is covered. Never add to a losing position. That's the road to ruin. Hope has destroyed more traders than bad analysis ever did. When you add to a loser, you're not trading anymore, you're praying, and the market doesn't answer prayers. Another principle: never average down. The market doesn't care what price you entered. It doesn't care about your ego. The trend is either working for you or against you. If it's against you, get out. The most successful traders are not the bravest, they're the quickest to admit when they're wrong. They trade like snipers, not soldiers. One clean shot, then retreat if it misses. That's how you preserve ammunition. Patience is also a weapon. The market spends most of its time moving nowhere. It teases, traps, and confuses. Waiting is part of the job. The best trades often come after long stretches of boredom. That's when most traders lose money, not because of bad setups, but because of impatience. They trade for excitement. I always said, it was never my thinking that made the big money. It was my sitting. Waiting for the right moment is as important as knowing what to do when it comes. If you start with $1,000, your goal isn't to make $50,000 in a hurry. Your goal is to survive long enough to gain skill. Focus on percentages, not dollars. A 5% return on 1,000 is the same skill that produces 5% on 50,000. The difference is scale, not intelligence. The market doesn't care about your account size. It cares about your behavior. Discipline is the bridge between small and large capital. The trader who can follow his plan flawlessly with $1,000 will multiply it naturally over time. But the one who can't control fear and greed at that level will never succeed, no matter how much money he starts with. You must train your emotions before you train your execution. There's also something most traders ignore: recovery time. Every dollar you lose takes effort to regain. Lose 50% of your capital, and you need 100% return just to get back to even. That's why preservation of capital is rule number one, not profit preservation. The trader who stays in the game long enough eventually catches the big move, but the trader who blows up is out forever. Keep records of every trade. Document your reasoning, your emotions, your outcome. Over time, this journal becomes your most valuable teacher. You'll begin to recognize your recurring mistakes, those impulsive entries, those ignored stop losses, those emotional exits. You'll see patterns not just in the market, but in yourself. And mastering yourself is the real secret to mastering the market. Now let's speak of risk, the only truth you can control. Every trade carries uncertainty. You cannot eliminate it, but you can manage it. That's the difference between a professional and an amateur. The professional thinks in probabilities, not certainties. He knows that losing trades are part of the business. He accepts them quickly, almost indifferently. The amateur takes every loss personally and then tries to win it back, which leads to ruin. Your stop loss is your insurance policy. Place it where your original trade thesis becomes invalid, not where it simply feels comfortable. Don't move it when the market threatens it. That's fear speaking. Accept your small losses with pride. Every small loss is a tuition payment toward wisdom. Remember, $1,000 can become $50,000, not because of one brilliant trade, but because of 1,000 disciplined ones. It's a slow climb, one brick at a time. And every brick is laid with restraint, patience, and execution. You don't conquer the market, you align yourself with it. You wait for it to reveal its hand, and then you act with precision. When I first began trading, I thought the goal was to outsmart others. Later, I learned the real challenge was to outsmart myself, my greed, my fear, my ego. Once you master that, the market becomes simpler, not easier, but clearer. You begin to see patterns of behavior: panic selling, euphoric buying, mass denial. The chart becomes a mirror reflecting human emotion, and your job is to stay detached from it. The market is a machine that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient, from the undisciplined to the disciplined. If you remember that truth, your $1,000 will not only survive, it will grow.